Stream. We're going to be in streaming in streaming. We're going to be streaming Intel's innovation keynote, where they're going to reveal Raptor Lake. We should get all the specifications, the price. If you guys have been paying attention, the price has kind of leaked out a little bit beforehand. So we kind of know the prices. It's a little bit more expensive than last year. However, it does seem to be, some of them seem to be cheaper than what AMD is offering, but we don't know the performance yet. So we're going to get all the details on the price, the performance, and the release date to date. If we're lucky, we'll get something on their ARC GPUs. I wouldn't really bank on it. I wasn't really planning to stream this event, but you know what? Intel is a very important part of our industry, and although I don't like a lot of their practices, and I don't think they're as innovating as they used to be, it's still a very important stream. So we gotta be unbiased here, and we gotta cover everything. So without further ado, here's the event, and I'll shut up and I'll come back after the show is over, and I'll give you guys my thoughts.
CEO Pat Gelsinger. After days of behind-the-scenes work, the stage is set and everything is ready for a two-day event where tech geeks gather, collaborate, and share their plans for the future. Innovation 2022 promises to be a groundbreaking event, and it all starts now. Welcome to Innovation Live 2022, coming to you from the San Jose Convention Center. Hi, everyone. I'm Madeline Littrell, your host for the next 2 days, broadcasting live from the Innovation Zone. It is wonderful to be back in person with developers from around the world who are here to experience all the hands-on demos, workshops, technical highlights, and of course, the keynote and luminary presentations. It's going to be an amazing 2 days. And I'm not alone this year. The show has gotten so big, I have a
looks like we have a pre-show, so I guess I'm going to have to comment on the pre-show because of fair use. I don't want to just stream their pre-show event. So I guess we can discuss a few things here. Just let me know in the chat what you want to talk about, but we could talk about the newly released AMD AM5 CPUs that released today. Those are out in the market. We can talk about what you guys think the performance will be of these Intel CPUs. If I had to assume, I would think that the pre-show is going to be for about half an hour.
Who do you see him back there? It's exciting.
Well, I tell you, I've had the chance to speak to many folks. Some folks at the media
Sorry, a little
lounge,
feedback there to turn off the other computer.
Forum,
Yeah, so I would think that the
Zone,
pre-show is probably going to run half an hour,
backstage.
and then we'll get right
They're
into
all
the
excited
keynote
to be
address.
back in person
So
this year and
we'll just leave the
feature
stream up
keynotes
running, let the
and
room fill up.
technology demos.
If you're just getting to the room,
Thank you, Robbie.
this
I'm
is the
with
pre-show
Raptor
that's going
too.
on. I
We'll
don't
be
think the
checking
show
in with
starts
you
for
throughout the show,
another
so
half
who
an
you're
hour.
rubbing elbows with. But everyone
So
at
yeah,
home, stick with us.
in half an hour
We'll
the
be bringing you
pre-show
some
starts. They're just
exclusive
confirming
sneak
it there.
peeks
I
and
mean,
interviews
the
ahead
actual
of the
keynote
live
starts.
keynote, and you won't get this anywhere else. All right, let's take a look at today's full schedule and all we have in store for you. First up, you'll get an exclusive first look around the showcase floor. We'll meet the winners of Intel's Global Impact Festival and get to know Ria Sharuvu, Intel's own pioneer of AI ethics. After the keynote, we're excited to welcome Pat Gelsinger for a live debrief. You won't want to miss that one. Also on tap are the must-see highlights from the keynote and an interview with Intel's Chief Technology Officer, Greg Lavender. Also, tweet at us. Use the hashtag IntelOn to join the discussion and for a chance to be featured on the show. For the first time ever, we are so excited to bring you backstage access and exclusive content for our virtual audience. That's you. This is live TV, so be ready for anything. And speaking of, I'm hearing that Ravi found a very special guest who stopped by on his way to the main stage. Ravi?
Thanks, Madeline. You never know what's going to happen backstage, and you never know who I'm going to intercept on their way to that stage. Pat Gelsinger, Intel's Chief Executive Officer. It's great to connect with you again here at Intel Innovation.
Why does he look like one of those super
2022.
villains?
Hey, Robbie, always great to be with you, and I appreciate your enthusiasm, excitement, and we are
He
getting
looks like an
ready
evil
to kick off
mastermind that's
Innovation 2022.
ready to take over the
We
world.
sure
I'm
are.
just
I can
bugging.
feel the buzz. Can you feel the buzz, Pat?
Oh, absolutely.
I'm interested to see what they have to say
Absolutely.
today, though.
Demos, the show
To see
floor,
where this
all of our
performance
vendors,
lies.
partners showing up. It's gonna be just a fabulous,
Will
couple of
AMD
days
retain the gaming
Amazing,
crowd?
amazing. Now, Pat, you went
Will
viral
Intel
last
take it
year
back?
for
Because
doing
right now,
something
like,
really unique.
they're
as a
switching back and
pre-show
forth, man, like
get
crazy.
ready. Are you
And
doing anything
really, if
this
you've been
year that,
following
that we
PC
should be
hardware for a
thinking
long
about?
time, that's
Well, like
pretty
always,
big
I
deal,
get
man,
up
because
early, I
Intel
practice my
was
keynote,
always
I get my speaker
not
notes all
Intel,
ready, and
AMD
that's
was
really
always
crucial
lagging
for
far
me, that I
behind.
don't
And
look at it again until I go on stage,
you know,
right? That's all
they're
that
right
matters.
there.
But of
They
course,
beat them,
no,
and
hey,
then you know
do
Intel
the
comes out with
push-ups
something,
with
beats
your
them
hobby?
by like
I
2%,
don't
and
think
then
I'm gonna join
AMD
you.
comes out and does something again. Okay, this guy's doing
I think
push-ups
you
here.
can.
What's going on here?
Wow.
Okay,
Grade 11?
that was kind of cringe.
Nice
Not
job.
gonna
Nice
lie.
job. I've got to talk to you about that form, but hey, that was a torrid pace. That was a torrid
Oh,
pace.
that was hilarious.
Well, Pat,
You
we
know
love
he's
your
tired as
energy.
F right now,
Your
man.
keynote's
He's like,
coming up in 50 minutes. Anything that the audience should take away, or any sneak peek you want to give us about your keynote?
Well, maybe three things. You know, one is the new product introductions, right? And obviously it's a geek fest, but you know, coming out with cool new technologies and being able to describe them to the audience. You know, second, developer, developer, developer. Let me remind you, developer, developer, developer. The heart of what we do is enable hardware and software developers. And, you know, that's what I'm going to talk about, Greg's going to talk about. You know, in between, you know, I think of it as a keynote in two parts, right? And I have some things and Greg has some, you know, aspects, but this idea of open. We are here for
Trusted
the open
Titan saying,
ecosystem.
are you actually
The
considering
choice that we
buying
enable across
the AM5
platform, and
chips?
then building more trust. So that's number two.
They run
And number
at
three
95
is, hey, some of the fun
degrees.
guests I have,
Okay,
you know,
first
I
of
am
all,
such an underachiever. I'm gonna describe
this
that
is
on
normal
stage. One of my
temperature for
lifelong
these
legends is joining us here
CPUs.
today.
Yeah, it's
You know,
really
we have
hot,
some really great
but at
tech,
95,
some really great
it doesn't
messages from
throttle.
the
It's
community,
designed to
and some
run
really
that high
surprising people
temperature.
joining us here
So
at
if you
Innovation.
have a good AIO,
Excellent,
and I
excellent.
really do
I
think
don't
for
know about that
AM5 you want to go with an
underachiever bit,
AIO.
I gotta tell you,
But
Pat,
once
you've
you
been on
throw
this
some
torrid
liquid
pace
cooling
since
on
last
that,
year's
you should be
innovation.
fine.
That
And the
was
thing
not
is
in person,
although
it was
it does
virtual. Now we're
go
here
up to
in
95
person.
degrees,
Tell us how you're
you
feeling
can
about
still
the
overclock it.
energy
It'll
of
still
everybody
boost
being
because,
here in
like I
person
said,
and
it's
yourself being able
designed
to engage the
for
developer community.
higher heat.
Well, you know, it's been
And
just over,
I've seen
you know,
some
6,
videos.
8
I think it
weeks,
was
you know,
DeBauer
obviously
that
the
did a
White
video
House,
where
the
he
bill signing of the
deleted
CHIPS Act,
the
Ohio
AM5 CPU. I can't remember which one it
groundbreaking,
was.
got it all
And he
underway,
was
and
getting
now
significantly
here
better
in the
temperatures.
Silicon
So, you know, if you're really
Valley,
into
you know, where
the
it all began, what Intel really helped to usher
PC
into the world. So
building
always
end
me,
of
every
things,
day
you
is
can
such a
just
great day
delit
to
it. And
be
I'm not
back
saying
together
deliting
in
a CPU is an
person
easy
with
thing.
the
I'm not
developer
saying that for a
community
minute.
in
But I'm
Silicon
saying
Valley.
you can delit it
Excellent. Well, Pat,
and you
good
can
luck
get
in
really
that keynote.
fantastic
We'll see you
temperatures
throughout
and
the
even
show.
overclock
Thank
it
you very
higher.
much.
So
Matt,
no
what's
one's
shaking
really
back at
complaining
the
about
host desk?
the heat of
Well, I can't
AM5
believe you
for the
wouldn't
simple
put that
fact
on
that
Pat.
it doesn't
And
matter
you called
because
him
you're
out on
still
his form.
able to
Well, good.
overclock
But
your
it does seem like Pat is ready to
CPU
go, so
and the
thank you.
boosts
We'll
they still
get back
happen.
in
So
how
it's
you're
kind of a
doing in a
non-issue.
minute.
But yeah,
Hey,
95 is
for everyone watching online,
toasty,
we
but
don't want you to miss
you
a
want that
thing.
performance.
Robbie and I are going to do
It is
our
what it
best
is.
to be
And
the
like I
next
said,
best thing to being
it's
here in
not
person.
throttling the CPU, so it's
Consider
kind
us
of a
your eyes and
non-issue.
ears and your tour guide around all the action. Yesterday, I checked out some of the demos here in the Creator Zone and Showcase, and you'll be amazed at what I discovered. Hi everyone, you can see that we're still
Yeah, Liff,
setting up
he's
here at
he was
Innovation
definitely
Showcase,
geeky.
and I am reunited
Man's
with my
went
friend
down and did a
and
bunch of
demo
rapid
nerd,
push-ups,
Greg.
man. If you're
It's
just
so good
joining
to have you
now,
back to us.
that was
So
pretty
good
funny.
to see you, Madeline. This is
Always a
great.
pleasure.
Exciting time at Innovation.
Amen to that, sir. Okay, tell us about the Spark Theater. This is like a mini keynote area.
So I guess they're going to give us a look around of the showroom, and that's fine. As the room fills up, we can get together here in anticipation for this unveiling of Raptor Lake. So yeah, I don't mind it at all.
Everything from
They got nice little sets,
demonstrations
though. It looks nice.
executive
Doesn't look like
speakers
they're in their
to some of our
basement,
most
so.
valued partners, as well as customers, are coming in to go ahead and tell us all about the brand new innovation that they're seeing with Intel technology this
There's
year.
95C
So, stop on
heat
by,
up
check it
the
out.
room.
I love it. This was the first stop. Now on to the next one. You have some time?
I
Absolutely.
guess
Let's go check it out.
under load for, you know, if that 95C is maintained under load for a long time, I guess you would feel some heat in your room to some degree.
So this is something here at
I guess if you
Innovation
got
where we
close
have
to it, just
Intel
being
experts
realistic.
to work through
But let's not
all
forget,
of
it's
our
not
open
always
source
going to be at
tools,
95C.
VTune,
This is under like
Open
heavy
Beta,
load
all of the
that
tools
it
you have
reaches
to
those
really
temperatures, right?
maximize
So,
your
you know,
performance
that's
of your
usually
code
not
on
sustained.
Intel
So,
hardware. We also have an
a little bit
entire
overblown.
hands-on
I
expert
understand.
set where
95C
Intel
is still hot,
employees
but
with all of their expertise
it's
will be able to help through.
yeah, it is what it
work
is, man.
through
But
your
yeah, I
code,
guess it
your
would add some
projects,
temperature to your
be able
room.
to make sure that
So
they're
look at it
optimized
this
in the
way:
best
you can
way.
buy an AM5 CPU, and you can turn off the heat in your house,
Bring on
and
problems.
you
We
can
love to
save
solve it. So
by
developers,
buying
come on
yourself
down to
a new
innovation.
AMD
We've
CPU.
got
So
you.
just look
All
at it
these
that
new
way.
tools, let us let you know how to use them.
Love it. We love that confident stance.
That's pretty
Over
cool.
here in the Innovation Showcase. Well, you have to get to a rehearsal.
I have a keynote. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. So great, Madeline. Thanks, everybody.
Bye. Thanks for stopping by. Well, we'll see more of Craig in just a few minutes during the opening keynote with Pat. But in the meantime, we have a few more stops.
Realistically, I don't see Intel being anything different. Intel's Alder Lake CPUs were really hot, guys. Let's not forget that. And I suspect here for Raptor Lake to compete, because let's remember they're not on the same node. They're on a much bigger node. I think they're on 10 nanometer or something. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section, but I know that they're not on 5 nanometer for Raptor Lake. So I just don't see it being as efficient. I think they're going to have to push a lot of power into it in order for it to be competitive with what AMD is offering, just like what they did with Alder Lake. So I don't see this CPU being any cooler, you know. I could be wrong. Let's see. We're going to find out, and we're going to find out in the upcoming days as reviewers get this, but I don't see it being any cooler than what AMD is offering, especially if they want to regain the gaming crown. I just don't see how they're going to do it when, you know, they're on a different node. Their node is much bigger than what AMD is doing right now, so I just don't see it being as efficient. So I expect heat as well.
On to the next one. You're awake. Come here. Come on.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like my 3090, you know, when I'm doing long gaming sessions on that, it does kind of heat up my room a little bit. You know, not too bad, but yeah, it is what it is, man. This is what it is.
My favorite technology in this.
You know, even a console to a certain degree will heat up your room with all that hot air blowing up the back of it. You know, this is the price that we pay for performance. This is where we're at currently. You know, future generations and iterations. You know, maybe they'll get the heat down. They'll become more efficient, but this is what it is.
And they're geeking out with each other, and we get to experience it in person live.
Yeah, lots of stuff going on. Lots of deep engagements coming up with showcases, demos, brain dates.
13900K and a 4090 to create a fusion reactor. That's hilarious, man.
We're so excited to see what happens in this keynote live, and then what happens again.
I have the power of the sun in my living room.
Who do you have with you now?
Well, none other than Michelle Johnson, Holthouse, Intel's Executive Vice President and General Manager of the client.
Speaking of 4090s, those 4090s are humongous.
Yeah, thank you.
Last night I was taking a look at them again, and holy smokes, those are thick boys, man. Pause. Man, those GPUs are so thick, man.
What I can tell you is,
you know, triple slot, 3.5. Like, what is going on? A lot of people are going to need new cases to fit those GPUs. Forget about doing an ITX build with those. You know, I don't think any are going to fit those. I could be wrong. Maybe there's something out there that's 3.5 slot or 4 slot. I'm not sure. But regardless, they're really, really big. And that tells me that they're going to get extremely hot. And, you know, they really want to cool these things, which is very interesting because AMD is going the opposite way. AMD is saying they're going to be very efficient, 50% more efficient per watt. And we're also hearing those are going to be monsters. So, you know, could AMD come out with a much slimmer card that outperforms a 4090? That would be something. That would be something to behold. We're going to find out in roughly about a month, November 3rd. I do expect some leaks to come out before that. I wouldn't be surprised if AMD did a controlled leak just to raid a little bit on NVIDIA's parade. We'll find out. But gotta say, it's interesting time. You know, we're getting new hardware after a couple of years. We're getting new CPUs from both companies. We're getting new GPUs. Actually, we have a new contender for GPUs, Intel Arc. Will we hear something about Arc today? I'm not sure. It's like the GPU that's... Just wait for it. Just wait. It's coming. It's coming. We're about to release it. We're going to release... Oh, just wait a little bit. Like, this thing has been so delayed delayed.
Any last
And
takeaways for
I'm
you
just going to be honest with you guys.
in
I have a
Intel
feeling that
Innovation
once it
2022?
comes out, it's going to be
exciting
very
week. We've got
underwhelming,
amazing
especially
products.
compared to
You're
the
gonna see those
competition. These
products
guys should have
live
came out like
because of
last
some of the
year
developers in
when
the
everybody
audience.
was
I'm
jonesing
super
for
excited to see
GPUs.
what they
They're going to come out with a
Excellent.
new
End of the
RDNA 3
show. Thank you for
GPUs, the new
spending time with
4000
us. See you a little
series.
later in the show.
And, you know, I think they're going to be like
Alan, back to you.
mid-tier 3000 series
Thanks,
performance.
Bobby.
So
Lots of emphasis
they're really
on
going to have to
openness this morning.
price it
I think
right
we're gonna hear a
to
lot
have
about
any
that
type
in
of
the
traction, but I just think the
Okay, we're
release
counting
window, the
down the
delays
minutes
are
to
really
Pat's
going to hurt
keynote.
it. So here we have on the
Coming up,
screen
we'll
here,
have
it's going
more
to start
backstage
in
interviews,
16
and
minutes
next,
and
Intel's AI
21,
Global
20,
Festival winners
19,
join us on
18
set.
seconds.
What are
So
you hoping
we're
to
just
see in
about
today's
15
keynote?
minutes away from the
Let us know by
keynote being
using the
presented
hashtag
here.
IntelOn.
I'm going to grab
We'll
some
be right
water.
back.
I'll let you guys watch this little advert here, and I'll be back in a second. I'm going to crank off the music here.
How many tacos did you order?
100.
Yeah, I just gotta kill the sound on it because sometimes they like to ding you for the music that's playing. And I think I actually stopped the stream for a second and I panicked and started to stream back. So we should be live if we had a little hiccup there. Sorry about that. I think it's fine. Yeah, the stream is still up and running, so you guys didn't even see the blip, but I actually stopped the stream for a second. Okay.
AI in the next 2 days. A big part of that conversation is encouraging.
All right, I'm just gonna grab something to drink. I'll be back, guys.
Shaping the future of artificial intelligence. Intel launched the AI Global Impact Festival as part of its commitment to tech for good. The festival brings together next-generation technologists, future developers, policymakers, and academics who work to solve real-world problems using AI. This year, Intel received more than 1,000 entries from 25 countries. And joining us now are the winners of this year's festival. We have Dina Marie, Krish, and Tanapat.
If you guys are just joining the stream, this is the pre-show event. They were showing us around the showroom, you know, discussing little stuff here and there. I believe these are the winners from some contests that they did. So these guys and girls are gonna speak out on what they do, and I don't know what the contest was. I'm gonna grab a drink of water. I think this actual keynote probably starts in the next 12 to 13 minutes. The pre-show should end, and we're going to go directly into the keynote, okay? So just be patient. 12 or so minutes, the actual keynote will begin. Right now we're watching the pre-event, okay? The pre-show.
That might occur, and to see, you know, who might be wearing their PPE versus who's not, without the use of facial recognition. And so we're using LiDAR for that.
Oh, very cool. Using AI to protect people.
Yes.
Very cool. Krish, what about you? Tell us about your project.
Yeah, so my project is basically an AI model which is aimed at improving the accessibility to programming by breaking the barrier of language to get started with programming. So it basically summarizes the code which user writes in their own mother tongue so they can better understand what they are writing, and it helps people to get from non-native English background to get started with programming.
Oh, that's amazing. How old are you?
I'm 17.
You're 17. I can tell you've done this before. You have great energy.
Yeah.
He's like, yes, I love doing this. Awesome. And Tanapat, tell me about your project.
My project is about I create a medical innovation that allows people to have a regular heart checkup, because heart disease is very important in this world because it can happen to anyone and anywhere. So we need to take care about the heart. So when we have the regular heart checkup, we can screening the heart disease and we know faster and get the treatment faster than normal.
And you can do this outside of a doctor's office or a hospital.
Yeah, we can do it at home by ourselves.
Wow, that's incredible, especially for those who might not have direct access to a hospital, who might be in farther, more distant or suburban areas. Yeah. Very neat. Okay, so what do y'all think are some of the biggest risks or challenges that you're going to face in this AI field?
So I guess how responsibly we are using an AI would be a very big challenge in the future as well with our own projects. So letting the right use of AI with the right ethics is a big challenge ahead.
Yeah, responsible AI is going to be
Responsible.
huge.
Somebody was
So
saying it's out of
what's next for
sync.
y'all?
It
Anyone
doesn't
wanna
seem out of
share
sync for
your
me. Let me
dream
double check
or
here.
what you're going to work on next before we wrap?
In my dreams, in the future, I want my projects to using worldwide. I think I will expand to the rest of my country, Thailand, to allows everyone to get a regular heart checkup. Also, then starting to expand to the rest of the world because, like I'm talking now, is have maybe someone died from the heart disease. Like according from the CDC, every 34 seconds maybe someone die in the United States from the heart disease. So it's very important.
Absolutely. Well, you are an inspiration, and no doubt you're going to make that happen.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Congratulations again. Thank you for being here today. And Ravi, we're going to take it back to you. Who do you have with you next?
Hey, Madeline. Well, I am standing here with Sandra Rivera, who leads our Intel Data Center and AI group. And for the first time, how are you feeling about this year's in-person elbow bumping with the developer community?
Well, it is always better to be
With the developer community.
well.
Okay, let's see if that fixed the problem there. Hopefully it did.
3D. So super excited.
Let me know in the
Actually
chat
got a
if
little
it's
bit
still
of
out
a
of sync.
sneak peek in the tech showcase and innovation zone earlier today, so I can't wait to see everything that Pat's going to talk about, and then of course to open up those developer podiums and platforms and demos to everyone.
Right, right. You got a little sneak peek. Anything you want to share with us?
Well, I can't really say too much other than for sure we are trying to make the innovations that we build into our products and platforms more accessible, more consumable, so that we can unlock all of that value through, of course, our developers. So you're going to see a lot of discussion about our developer cloud and some of the products and capabilities that we've put in there. You will see innovations from our platform providers, our ecosystem partners, software vendors, both large industry leaders as well as some of the new startups and the smaller companies that are really pushing on that leading edge of innovation.
That's amazing. So it's such a big ecosystem, right? And they're all coming here, Intel Innovation Live.
Hold on, let me just fix the
We just
sync
got done
issue
with
here.
our Global Impact Festival winners, and that was amazing, right? And technology education, especially in AI, is something that you're really passionate about. What are your thoughts on the next generation of talent coming in?
You know, this is probably one of my favorite parts about this event, generation technologists, and see the things that they're doing and thinking about and the way they're using all the ingredient technologies and innovations that we provide to have impact at scale. I get very excited. So I'm looking forward to our little photo op with all the Global AI Impact Festival winners later today.
That's amazing, and I'm sure they're really waiting to see you also. Hey, Sandra, it was great, and back to you, Madeline.
All right, good stuff, Ravi. Last year at Innovation 2021, Pat Gelsinger introduced the idea of superpowers and Intel's commitment to openness, open ecosystems, choice, and trust. Moving on to this year, we expect today's keynote will highlight the progress Intel has made toward that goal, as well as the technologies that will be essential to developers with an increased focus on AI. We know there will be a few surprises in store.
I don't know what the hell is going on with the sync here. I'm going to try again. Hold on.
And an expanded portfolio, of course, of secure cutting-edge technologies that will help developers build solutions that will change the world. Coming up, it's nearly time for Pat's keynote. But before we count down, we'll meet.
How many tacos did you order?
100.
All right, it should be fixed. Just give me a second here.
Intel Innovation. The audience is filing in.
Hopefully it's fixed. Let me know in the chat if it's fixed.
Minutes to the opening keynote. Our next guest graduated high school at only 11 years old. Now at 18, she has earned her master's in data science from Harvard University and worked for 4 years here at Intel. Fun fact, when she's not writing code, she's writing poetry. Hear from this inspiring woman in her own words.
Hi, I'm Ria Chervu. I'm an AI ethics lead architect at Intel, and this is my job in my own words. As part of my role, I'm responsible for tackling 3 primary categories. The first is ensuring that technologies are developed responsibly, both for the AI models and the mechanisms that surround them.
Okay,
The
guys,
second
hold
is
on. I'm
helping
gonna
influence
try
the
to
internal
fix this sync
compliance
again, okay?
processes to
Give me a
Intel.
second.
And the third is helping influence the regulatory landscape around AI systems. I've been working in AI for about 6 years now. I started my initial foray into the field when I was 11 and getting my science, where I studied a lot of key concepts around big data systems, computational neuroscience, philosophy, and AI. I joined Intel formally as an intern when I was 14 and started to work on exciting applications around deep learning and reinforcement learning. I'm now a full-time architect that has her master's degree in data science. As a software architect, my goal is to be able to understand developers' pain points and be able to implement technologies that make some of these key concepts easy to digest and implement. So my goal is to be able to help develop technologies and also empower the ecosystem so developers are able to use these to make their life easier, but also are able to voice back and help contribute to these technologies. Communication is one of those essential items as part of the AI domain, and to me, my passion is around being able to digest some of these very complicated topics and then be able to present that to audiences. One of the coolest things about my job is being able to identify and dive deeper into very challenging problems around AI systems. Collaboratively, we can start to solve some of these key problems, tapping into the expertise of some amazing perspectives around the world, and be able to identify how can we best prepare, design, and implement AI to improve quality of life. And that's what I do for Intel.
How is it now, guys?
You heard it in her words. Now we're here with Ria Live. Ria, you are not only a huge inspiration, but also Intel's AI ethics lead architect. What personally excites you about Intel innovation this year?
Oh, thank you, Ravi. I think what personally excites me is being able to get exposed to a lot of this talent and learn from all of these different teams and showcase their awesome capabilities and performance. So.
That's amazing. Now, which demos are you looking forward to seeing the most during the next 2 days?
Definitely the ones corresponding to AI. So all of them are super interesting. Really looking forward to being able to speak to those, learn more about them, and assimilate all that.
That's amazing. Now, I got to tell you, I've been watching you. Girls to inspire them to get into technology, to be curious. What are your words of wisdom for them?
Oh, absolutely. I think curiosity is like that central part of being able to pursue different learning opportunities. So I'd say the first step to curiosity is happiness. You're able to understand what you really want to explore and then go ahead and dive right deep into it. And then you're able to figure out, okay, this is where I'm going to go next when it comes to pursuing that curiosity. This is what happens if I fail. And having that kind of rock to stand on. That's what I'm learning currently is the most important thing to pursuing your passion.
That is amazing advice, amazing advice. So this is your first innovation event?
All right, we got a couple of minutes here. I'm going to try one more time to fix it.
How are you feeling about the energy and the buzz in the room?
Oh, feeling great. I'm just like learning all of the new things, and I feel great. Definitely, the team has provided so much support, but yeah, learning along the way.
Awesome. Well, great that you're here. Excellent to be here with you. And Madeline, we'll take it back to you.
Thanks, Ravi. Man, she is impressed. Expect to hear about some new tools that will accelerate development and also new ways to collaborate with Intel to build stronger open source ecosystems. Security is paramount, and we're looking to hear about ways to reduce risk and build software sustainability, and catch a glimpse into the future with a number of surprise announcements. All right, Ravi, it is nearly time. Can you give us a sneak peek at what's going on backstage? I feel like it's a great time to be back there.
Madeline, I tell you, I love it back here, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a tour. And as you notice, there are some people in this room. Nobody's wearing the demos and the showcases and the technology at the event this week. And lots of work. My man Art over there making it happen with his team. And yeah, lots of great stuff going on over there. And this is what I consider the center of the universe. This is our live stream crew over here. If it wasn't for these guys, you wouldn't be seeing this pretty face. So these guys are making it happen. Okay, and then we've got Video Village. Video Village, they're the ones that are putting together all of the content to bring it to stage and bring it to the show. And now I'm going to take you up on stage. So watch your step, guys. Oh, wait a minute. Look what I found here. Can you see this? This is Programming the 8386 book that was co-written by Pat Gelsinger. Okay, and come on, follow me out here. Let's see what's going on outside. Wow, look at that. Look at those smiling faces. Are we excited, everyone? Look at that. Glad to be back here in person at Innovation 2022. Back to you, Madeline.
Thanks, Robbie. Oh my goodness, I love special guests are here, and of course, you, our online audience, are also here. Everyone, the time is here. Let's take it to Innovation 2022.
Please welcome Intel's CEO, Pat Gelsinger.
Welcome all. Good morning, good evening. Shana Tova to all of our friends who are celebrating Rosh Hashanah, and our Israeli talent just play a huge role for Intel, and Mobileye and our teams there spending the holiday with their family and friends. But to the rest of Team Intel, we are here and we're going to have a great event together now. And it's wonderful to be back, what do you think, in person? Yeah! In person in our backyard here in Silicon Valley. And a beautiful day today, so let's get started. You know, and as the host of Innovation 2022, I have to affirm Intel's deep, unwavering commitment to an open ecosystem. And last year we said we'd innovate on future technologies in the open. We would offer you choice. We'd help drive industry-shaping standards. And, as we said, we have to make them more secure. These platforms have to be things that you can trust in and build your platforms and businesses upon. And over the next 2 days, we're going to show you our progress, but also look into the future in these areas.
Spare with me. I'm going to get another link for the
today, and hardware, software,
lag there.
Design, security, new developer platforms, and everything the industry has to offer. We're going to geek out. Did you get it? Right? Okay, all you geeks in the room, if you don't get it, right, go back and check your ASCII coding again, right? This is geek in ASCII, right? So, and we're going to have some expected guests, but some unexpected guests as well. And we're going to have a great show for you this week. You can think about this as a keynote in 2 parts, right? You got me today, and you got Greg Lavender, our CTO, tomorrow, talking about many of our software-first and developer-focused activities. And for those here on site, join us in our innovation zone, where we're going to have some geeky demonstrations, get to look firsthand. And for those of you online, wish you were here, but the online experience is going to be great. Stay on afterward for expanded coverage, and you don't want to miss it. So let's get started. We're in this new era.
Are you saying it's close enough?
Post-pandemic, but we're starting to see our way to the other side of it. And through this period of time, we have seen the increasingly critical role that technology plays in every aspect of human existence. Everything is going digital. How we work, how we learn, how we rest, how we care for each other, how we worship, how we live in society and in community together. In this digital era, we continue to witness the magic of technology, our ability to push forward with innovation, discovery, and growth. And this is driven by what I like to call the superpowers, these foundational technologies that are profoundly shaping how we experience the world. And it creates this bridge from the analog, from the physical to the digital world. It enables us to simulate, to create the digital twin of everything that we do. One of those, compute. And since the 4004, we've just been pushing compute into everything. Connectivity, everyone and everything is becoming connected. Infrastructure with unlimited scale of cloud, but increasingly with edge, unlimited reach for capacity as well as low latency and bandwidth, and AI intelligence everywhere, turning this infinite data into actionable insights. And I've been framing these 4 superpowers for a while, and then in conversation with some industry peers, and in particular a conversation with Thomas Friedman, the Pulitzer Prize winning New York Times author, he convinced me I was missing one. Sensing. And everything that we compute and connect is now becoming increasingly able to sense. We see objects and even be able to see things that you can't see, right? Hear things, know exactly where you are, and increasingly be able to feel, taste, right? All of our senses. And I want an augmented reality where all of my senses become digitally enhanced as well. And even my infirmities, like here's my hearing aid. Yeah, I'm going, it's part of our family, right? We lose our hearing. But now, what did she say again? I know more about you than you think I know. Even my disabilities become sensory devices to make my everyday better. Each one of these 5 powerfully, individually, just changing. But as you think about it, more sensing means more compute. More compute means more connectivity. More connectivity, more infrastructure. More data over that infrastructure, more AI, which leads to more use cases. Right there, reinforcing, accelerating, empowering each other to unlock even more powerful possibilities in the future. It also changes how we think about our business as well. And how we think about chip design and the role that we play in this industry. And with that, we launched Intel Foundry Services, a key part of our IDM 2.0 strategy to help meet this growing demand for advanced global semiconductors. And we've committed to a strategy of helping to build a more balanced and resilient supply chain for the world. And at its heart, of course, is Moore's Law. And for decades now, I've been in the debate, is Moore's Law dead? And the answer is no. And with advances in transistors with RibbonFET, advances in power delivery with PowerVia, right? With breakthroughs in lithography, with high-INA lithography, the core of semiconductor manufacturing, with advanced packaging technologies, we aspire from today about 100 billion transistors on a single package. By the end of the decade, 1 trillion transistors. 1 trillion transistors in a single package. And we are on schedule or ahead of schedule on this audacious strategy that we have said 5 nodes in 4 years. Normally it takes 2 years for a node. We're going to do 5 in 4 years. Are these Intel folks crazy? No, we are just torridly moving to the future. And our 18A, right, the key one where we'll assert as unquestioned leadership, the PDK 0.3 is in the hands of developers today, and we expect our first test chip taped out against that before the end of the year. We will not rest until the periodic table is exhausted. We will continue to be the stewards of Moore's Law into the future. You got it? Alive and well. But of course, to be a great foundry, you got to be a great wafer foundry. And we're going to continue to work to grow that semiconductor demand, build more capacity, work with our customers as a foundry. And we've announced our intention to acquire Tower Semiconductor, combined with IFS, into one of the richest portfolios of differentiated technologies available today as a foundry provider. But our vision is much greater than that. IFS will usher in what we call the systems foundry era. And as the focus moves from system on chip to system in a package, and we see a systems foundry having 4 components to it. First, you got to be a great wafer foundry. We're not debating that. Got to be good at that. But second, right, it has to be great at packaging. And even Gordon Moore, when he wrote his original paper on Moore's Law, he foresaw this day of reckoning where we'll need to build larger systems out of smaller functions, combining heterogeneous and customized solutions. And with 2, 2.5, and 3D stacking, this gives us the ability to increase the number of transistors per device. Third, software. And as you're going to hear from Greg tomorrow, He calls it software, the soul of the machine. And we'll take these stable software interfaces that allow you to accelerate your product development and delivery. Open source software stack, the key software components that unleash the different chiplets, accelerators, and abstractions. And we're increasingly going to make that common through our one API solution. And as we like to say at Intel now, software defined, silicon enhanced. Software comes first. And the fourth, a vibrant chiplet ecosystem. And just as Intel has played this pivotal role in standards, like PCIe and Ethernet and Wi-Fi over time, and my granddaughter, when she plugs in a USB stick into the computer, she says, "Yeah, you may like me, but I care more what she has to say." And once again, we're going to lead an ecosystem to create the standardization of a chiplet architecture, and we call it the Universal Chiplet Interconnect Ecosystem, or UCIe. And we already have more than 80 companies who are participating in this creation of this open chiplet environment. And you can imagine something like this. Hey, I'm getting a few of my chiplets from Intel, but hey, I have a few of these pieces that I've also developed on TSMC. And maybe my power delivery components are coming from TI, and I have some of my I/O chips that I'm doing on global foundries. Bring those together, and of course, Intel with the most advanced packaging technology, assemble those together for me and be my supply chain manager. So we're going to bring all of those pieces together, enabling what we'd say is this next generation of the chiplet ecosystem. And let's just hear from a few other voices that are joining with us in this vision.
At TSMC, our goal is to provide an open silicon platform to unleash customers' innovation. That's why TSMC fully supports moving the UCIe ecosystem forward.
The future is chiplets. This is why Samsung supports the UCIe goal to establish an ecosystem of chiplets that will drive the next era of heterogeneous computing. Thank you.
So with Intel, Samsung, and TSMC, you've just heard the three largest we're committed to investing in the fundamental capabilities to enable this ecosystem, but also the next generation of talent as well. And part of our $1 billion IFS Innovation Fund is directly investing in companies and startups and disruptive technologies. And we've had a pipeline to come. But we also have this desire to the talent much more deeply. And we have our university shuttle program that we've been running with a select set of public and educational institutions to enable them to have modern technology for their classes, training, and talent development. And I've given our team an audacious
Yeah, sorry guys, I don't know why the sync's just off today. I'll try to fix it throughout the broadcast, but it's not too far behind. Just watch the captioning if you're having a hard time reading his lips.
100x. Did you hear that again? Right, 100x increase in our shuttle capabilities. Professors, researchers, students, all of them being trained on the latest EDA tools and having access to shuttles that they can be sending their chips to manufacturing on the most leading process technologies in the industry. And I think of this just like when I did my first DRAM design and sent it to Moses for manufacturing. 40 years ago, but we want to build that talent pipeline for the future. And we're going to work with these institutions to radically increase the semiconductor talent flow of tomorrow. This is our commitment to the future of the semiconductor industry. Switching gears, another passion of mine has been in this area of graphics and accelerated computing. And we've been delivering integrated graphics for decades. But we've also known for decades that high-density computing, high-performance vector, matrix, the highest bandwidth requires a different solution as well. And this area of HPC has ushered into AI, machine learning, and core graphics technologies like ray tracing. And personally, I've been on this journey for 16 years. When I left Intel 12 years ago, it was the only major not done on my list of things that I wanted to finish. Well, I'm back, and we're now going to get it done. And with that, I'm delighted today to announce our GPUs. We got not one, but 3 of them to describe today. And the first GPU is our Intel Data Center GPU Flex. And this product, pixels are growing exponentially for a range of workloads: visual cloud tasks, media transcode, cloud gaming, inference and training, and AI. And this is industry's first hardware-based AV1 encoder for a data center GPU, delivering more than 30% bandwidth savings or more streams per platform, however it's monetized by the cloud provider. Open and full stack API access. And today, Flex Series is supporting one API, of course, but enabling frameworks like TensorFlow, OpenVINO, and PyTorch as well. GPU Flex. The first cousin of big AI in data centers, high-performance computing. And this is our Ponte Vecchio, our flagship high-performance GPU that uses our most advanced IP, really setting the pace for our most advanced packaging technologies, petaflops of performance. And together, Ponte Vecchio, along with our Sapphire Rapids HBM, our 4th generation Xeon, right, is the computing brains behind the Aurora supercomputer. And together, we're delivering these blades right now to Argonne National Labs to build the world's highest performance supercomputer. But where did it all begin? You can't talk about GPUs without talking about gaming. And for a long time, we've been seeing that the average price of GPUs is right in this, $200–300 range. But what's happened the last few years? They've just gotten super expensive, and we don't think they need to. Today, we're about to fix that. And we are, with gamers, delivering and hearing the complaints of high prices. So you should be frustrated because you are losing out as the gaming community. And today, we're fixing that. Here is the ARC 770. Right, this is our top-end gaming desktop GPU packed with features, delivers 65% better peak performance in ray tracing versus competition. We've come a long way. Let's take a look at the A770. Yeah, I'm excited too. I'm powering mine up.
Wow.
This weekend. And,
this is surprising.
October 12th, starting at $329 price point, and the cards are on the way to our reviewers right now.
Same day as NVIDIA's 4000 series. That's very, very interesting.
And you're all here at Innovation because you share my passion. The shared passion to continue to innovate, to continue to use technology as a force for good, to serve the technologists on the front lines, and to use technology to solve today's biggest problems. And we've been around for a little bit over 50 years, and we're the company that put silicon into Silicon Valley. And I remember as a young technician, when I walked into Intel, I was so impressed by the technology leaders that they were there. I thought I had entered the sacred place, going into the temple of technology, where everyone was maniacally focused on what technology could be and how it truly could change the world. And with that, I want to bring on stage a young, bright technologist who embodies that passion to harness technology as a force for good. Ria Cherevue, right, graduated high school at 11, started working at Intel as an intern at 14, the same year she received her undergraduate degree from Harvard. She's a whopping 18 years old today, the same age I was when I started at Intel. And you can imagine, on stage, I am now the underachiever. Please join me in welcoming Ria to stage.
Hi, Pat. Thank you. It's wonderful to be here today.
Well, thank you, Ria. You know, and like I say, boy, you know, it's not often I feel like I am just like an underachiever starting at 18. Man, you've done incredible things already.
Thank you.
So tell us what you're working on now.
Oh, absolutely. So right now, I'm an AI ethics lead architect. My goal is to develop technologies that help make AI more responsible, trustworthy, and ethical.
Well, you know, you and I have talked about the importance of taking on challenges, you know, and not being afraid to fail. So what do you think?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm ready to take these on head on and solve them. So.
Okay. So, you know, let's talk about this vast community. Innovators and developers like you, Ria, and how we want to continue to provide easy, affordable access to the latest stuff. And we want to help you get your hands into it without downloads or tough hardware setup. And so to that end, right, and you'll hear more about this in Greg's session tomorrow, right, the Intel Developer Cloud, giving developers access to new and forthcoming hardware solutions for pre-launch development and testing.
Absolutely. And I think my peers are ready to get their hands on this technology and start innovating with it.
Yeah, and we're expanding our Intel Dev Cloud experience. We're not trying to compete with the Amazon, Google, and Azures of the world, but to win your hearts and minds with early access of the latest great technologies that we're working on. And today, the Intel Developer Cloud is limited beta to select and pre-qualified customers, but our objective is to expand that significantly to developers over time for their platforms and to enable the scale of this service in the future.
Absolutely.
And as part of this trial, we're putting the latest and greatest stuff out there. And you'll have access to our latest technologies, 4th gen Intel Xeon, also known as Sapphire Rapids, to Habana Labs Gaudi 2, right, to our advances in IPUs and, our NEX technologies. And this is just the beginning, and you'll get updated this week on the full set of things because we want developers to have access to the latest and greatest.
Oh, awesome. And I know that there's a lot of AI developer kits, software kits, reference implementations out there for developers to get their hands on and use right away. So, yeah.
So today, what I want to do here, Ria, if you're okay with this, we're going to set up a handful of challenges, and you're going to help me solve those challenges today. And along this journey, we're going to meet a few other technologists, and we're going to tap into the open ecosystem, choose the right tools, and we're going to use it to build results. Over the history of technology has been this open versus closed, proprietary, protected gardens versus the open marketplace. And since the days of Grove and Gates and Jobs, this has been pervading the industry. And we believe that this idea of the persistent, expensive, closed environments, we are the champion of that open marketplace, and we are back. So John from our demo team is here to help us talk a little
development cycles, and I have a tool that I think can help us with that. The Neural Coder, which is a new feature of the Intel Neural Compressor, is a one-click, no-code solution that removes hard-coded CUDA references from our deep learning scripts. It optimizes those scripts for performance, and it benchmarks those optimizations for the best possible deployment options. Let's take a look at how easy this really is. So on the screen, you can see we have an image classification workload running. We're going about 300 frames per second with that. Ria, you want to try the Neural Coder and see what kind of impact it can have?
Absolutely. So all I'm going to do here is go ahead and click the run button and confirm, and is it that simple?
So that was pretty simple, right? Let's take a look at the Neural Coder output. So the Neural Coder has now optimized our deep learning model from FP32 to Int8, and it's really leveraging the Xeon scalable processor with Intel Advanced Matrix extensions.
That's fantastic. So what's going on with the performance?
Yeah, so let's take a look at the image classification workload again. We're now running at about 3,000 frames per second, which is a 10.8x speed up, really leveraging that built-in acceleration with the Xeon scalable processors.
That's looking good, John.
All right, perfect. So I'm wondering here then, with this type of one-click optimization, everything's good to go and all easy to use.
Yeah,
Perfect.
so maybe we can start talking about security now?
All right.
Well, one of the things is that, security, right, enables the, ability for us, right, to protect our models, to protect our data. And with that, how can we make sure all this model work that we do is actually useful and the data protected around it? So can you solve that problem for us, John?
Yeah, let's take a look at this over here. Let's make security a little bit more simple. So confidential computing with Intel SGX protects your data in use. And here we've downloaded a curated container, and we're going to leverage the Grameen Library OS project, which with a simple script and answering a few prompts, you can protect your data in use. So you want to give this one a shot?
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so this is another one of those one clicks. Going to go ahead and click here and cycle through these defaults.
Answer a few prompts here.
All right. Says it's being created.
Awesome. So all this data that we're using over here, you can now see on the screen that we've protected that data.
Amazing. So this is confidential computing. My container is SGX enabled. I've got protections for my data, and I'm all set when it comes to that.
Great. Optimizations and security.
All right.
So, very good. It's great to see that we're starting to get real traction from the open source community to take advantage of these confidential computing capabilities. And, we're working to enable a holistic view of confidential computing. In Project Amber, which we'll talk about tomorrow, a third-party trusted attestation service, which Greg will talk about. So we saw the full pipeline today, right, coming to place, right, what we're doing with AMX as part of our Intel 4th Gen Xeon to accelerate, right, on the CPU as well as on GPUs, the capability, right, making it, complete and protected with SGX, but we're also working on tomorrow with TDX, our trusted domain extensions, which will additionally provide secure enclave at the VM level without requiring application change. So this helps everyone to have more trust in their AI and in their data. So, Ria, I think we've covered, and we can call this one complete in our challenges. Okay. So let's get to our second challenge of the day. So we saw that we can do them faster, but how do we make them more relevant to the marketplace, these AI models that we're doing, and advanced, without requiring an advanced degree in AI modeling? Do you think we can do that?
Absolutely. Let's go for it.
So for this demo, we're going to come over here to this side, and joining us on stage is Giannis from our computer vision and AI team. So, Giannis?
Thank you.
So, today we're going to talk about AI model development. And this is still a very slow and expensive process. Even then, only a fraction of the models make it to production. Why is that? There are several reasons, but the main reason we see is that domain experts are left out of the loop. So when we hand the model over to them, it may have drifted, making it unusable.
Oh, absolutely. I've seen these issues all the time: accuracy drift, poor inferencing quality, and then there's also problems with the outputs of AI systems. And I'd also like to see a lot more collaboration between domain experts and data scientists, really drive those collaborations, get to higher quality models faster. So you have a solution here for me?
I have good news for you.
Okay.
Intel has built an intuitive computer vision platform that enables anyone on enterprise teams to collaborate and build models very efficiently. Let me show you an example. This is the image of a coffee plant, which is behind the $400 billion industry.
Well, coffee's pretty important to me, right? Enough coffee, all things are possible, Giannis.
Yes, and we say developers turn caffeine into code, so. So we want to help those coffee farmers to use AI to build models that can predict the maturity of the crop. This is why they can maximize the yield. So let me show you how you can build a computer vision model to do that. So we have this project here, and I have already uploaded some images. So let's go and open it.
All right. So a question here. I can only see a couple of images, but in a typical computer vision workflow, we'd probably need tens of thousands of images for this step.
Well, that's a thing of the past. With this software, we are using a technology called active learning to drastically reduce the amount of training data that the system needs to train. So let me go ahead and open this image here. And I will select one of our annotation tools, and I will draw a bounding box with my stylus around this yellow fruit, which is immature, this orange one, which is semi-mature, and this red one, which is mature. And when I submit those annotations together with some other annotations we did earlier on, the system will start a new training round.
All right, perfect. So what happens after training?
Well, it's going to take a few minutes for the training to complete. So for now, I have already created a project. And I will go and open a previously unseen image. Let's do that. What do you think, Ria?
Okay, this model's doing really well on this image. I am seeing a couple of erroneous and misdetections, though.
You're right. You can improve this model by correcting those misdetections. So would you like to try out?
All right, on the fly. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to start with deleting this little leaf annotation, and then I'm going to go ahead and navigate to the quick selection tool. This one looks over mature, and this one looks mature to me. All right,
You're a coffee farmer already, Ria, or an AI expert. Which is it? I'm not sure.
Probably the AI expert, but yeah, I mean, I definitely need that type of expertise, though, to be able to do this type of labeling, but this is how we can get them in the loop and then make sure that we converge to better models quickly and faster. Is that right?
Yes, and the most important part is that once your model is trained, it can be optimized with OpenVINO and deployed across different types of hardware at the edge or in your data centers.
Amazing. Pat, I love this technology.
Well, Giannis, thank you for joining us and showing off. This is incredible progress.
Thank you.
Thanks to the team. Thank you.
And it's a real demonstration of how Intel is building practical, useful ways to deploy AI. And today, we are launching Intel Getty, powerful AI for everyone. And what you've seen here is this new computer vision platform lets anyone in the enterprise teams build computer vision models rapidly. I mean, quite amazing. Big data, oh no, we can do it with small training workloads, and this is now commercially available in Q4 of this year, enabling enterprises to digitally transform and mainstream AI easily into their operations. A true breakthrough. Aren't you excited? Okay, there we go. So now we have how we create the AI models, but of course then our deployment of AI. And this is where OpenVINO has been extremely well accepted by the community and running on this range of Intel hardwares, a fast deployment, creation, deployment to complement Intel Getty. Hundreds of thousands of developers. Join me in welcoming VP of Operations of Precitaste, the Vision AI food management platform, Hauke Feddersen. Hauke?
Hey, Ria. Hey, Pat. I hope you're hungry because the next live demonstration will take us into a restaurant.
Ooh, okay.
We help professional kitchen crews by eliminating manual estimation tasks. Our valued customer, Chipotle, focuses on enhancing the customer and the crew experience. Vision AI tells them how much inventory they have at hand and what to cook when to always serve the freshest food and to never stock out. All of this is running on the edge in the restaurant on small form factor edge devices like that one. We chose OpenVINO because other companies' inference-only edge solutions always just focused on the inference and neglected the CPU-intensive workloads that we need to run in the background, like databases.
Okay, that sounds great. So one of the first problems, though, that I'm encountering, and I'm thinking about that you may have experienced as well, is how do you know how much compute you need and whether or not to use the Intel CPU or the GPU?
Great question. OpenVINO opens up a huge variety of devices for us to choose from. When we pick a device, we benchmark it to verify that it has enough performance for this and future use, and then we deploy it. Then it's actually the auto-optimization plugin in OpenVINO that makes the decision whether to run our model on the CPU or on the integrated GPU. And the best part is, With each generational upgrade, our customers get so much more performance out of one edge device. The generational jump from Gen 11 to Gen 12 took us one afternoon, and it resulted in 30% more frames per second for our application.
Well, hold that thought. I mean, that's pretty powerful. Right? So essentially, OpenVINO allows you to not worry about the underlying hardware, right, and allows you to be, taking, advantage of these capabilities. It's like having a world-class performance engineer standing by your side as you're deploying.
Absolutely. Let's see it in action. In the restaurant, we have those Intel RealSense cameras mounted above the make lines, seeing the food in real time all the time. And we use the OpenVINO to detect the corners of each of those pans for a dynamic region of interest. Then we use OpenVINO to classify the ingredients to know what we're looking at, and we use the stereo sensing from the RealSense to tell us how much we're looking at.
Right, so that's a lot of models that are in, part of a workflow. So how is OpenVINO helping you here with this much compute?
We're running multiple applications on just very few of these edge devices in the restaurant, from what to cook when, to digital prep, to freshness monitoring, and order accuracy verification. For that, we need tracking performance. And careful quantization at OpenVINO gave us a speed up of 2x. We're now running live inference from 2 vision streams on just one edge device.
All right, so your performance engineer has a question, or your temporary performance engineer. If we switch around those pans, how are the depth sensors going to react?
Let's do it.
Challenge.
If I take out one pan,
all right,
and shuffle them around a bit, we can see that the AI is orienting itself again and knows exactly how much food is available. And if I start serving this delicious salsa, dig in, dig in.
I like salsa.
The inventory depleting, and the crew is being asked to replenish so that the restaurant never stocks out. Chipotle is using this computing one-stop shop to scale their amazing operations. But don't take my word for it. Hear it from Chipotle.
Let's hear it now.
Hey Pat, hey Ria, and everybody at Intel Innovation. By utilizing Intel technology in our Innovation Center and test markets, we've seen a real improvement in operational efficiency. The combination of the full Intel architecture and OpenVINO software has alleviated manual tasks for our crew and given managers the tools they need to make informed, in-the-moment decisions. By deploying Intel's RealSense and OpenVINO technology, we created a powerful and versatile AI solution that addresses our unique needs while connecting the entire infrastructure of the kitchen. We're excited with the results we've seen in our test market and are aiming to fully deploy Intel technologies across Chipotle restaurants in a large market in the coming months. I'd like to thank you all, the true creators and innovators in this space, and hope you have a great show.
Well, thank you to Kurt. My family loves Chipotle, and now it'll even have Intel inside Chipotle, so we can go there more often.
absolutely. And with this delicious demo, I can
Next challenge, if you would, game development. So, modern games are complex. They have, interactivity, lifelike graphics, complex characters, story development, immersive experience. And these are big, expensive development and production operations to bring them to market. This is a lot of work to get done. And to talk about that, I've invited on stage today a world-class game developer, Inflection Games, right, who's striving to bring a realistic, immersive gaming environments onto the PC. Please help me in welcoming Sarah Main-Waring to the stage. Sarah?
Hi, good to meet you. Hi, Ria, good to see you.
Thank you.
All right, so I'm from Inflection Games, and we are creating Nightingale, which is an online multiplayer survival crafting game. And when we're working with a multiplayer game that's online, we get networking bugs. And these can really tie up our development schedules when we try and debug them. And whilst we're very good at doing this, sometimes we don't have any shortcuts. So when we are doing our debugging for these issues, We are connecting multiple clients on a single machine in the editor, usually with a test level. And so here's the test level I wanted to show you today.
Oh, that's beautiful. Looks immersive. Am I hearing birds?
There is a little bit of birds coming out, yeah. And so this isn't the usual test level that I would use to debug anything in. This is a real Nightingale player level running in Unreal Engine 5 on this rig. And usually we would be working in a test level that's very small, contained, very empty, so that we can really drill down to what the problem is. But sometimes that's not possible. Sometimes there is a bug or an issue which only shows up in player-facing levels. And then we run into problems because we have to run these very high-fidelity, dense levels directly on our work machines on a game which is only optimized to run one client on one machine at any one time without the editor even attached.
Absolutely.
And so you can see that we've got some pretty good performance going on here. It's really nice and smooth. It's looking real beautiful. And on my workstation, back at work, this would be what we would be getting in the editor. But we wouldn't be able to connect more than one, maybe two clients before the frame rate just drops off. But on this wonderful workspace, we've not only got one going, oops, excuse me, give it a little punch there.
No problem.
Oh, well, sorry, my keyboard is not working.
No problem.
Yeah, no worries. Let's see what I can do. Yep, my keyboard is not working, unfortunately, so I can't tab to, oh.
Okay, good.
But what you can see here is that we are running 4 of these instances all at the same time with the same frame rate. And it performs wonderfully. And actually in back, when I had a bit of downtime, I tried 8. And I was able to run 8 of our game instances, which are only optimized for a single on the client at any one time. And yeah, just really impressive tech.
Absolutely. I think peripherals aside, this is exactly what we're starting to get into. Game development's just going to get better and better. And Sarah, to your point, to highlight a cool feature here, I think hybrid architecture is definitely what developers can use here to make their lives much more easier. You can hide the windows that you don't really need so that your OS and your different platforms and applications are able to take advantage of what they do need in the front view and hide or put away the stuff that you don't. But it's a beautiful test environment, and it's a beautiful use case.
And being able to connect 4, 8, however many we try to do clients at the same time just speeds up our ability to debug and get to these nitty-gritty problems that are only showing up for our players. So it's a big deal for us to use Intel's technology for this.
Absolutely, and definitely as part of that hybrid architecture, performance and efficient cores or P&E cores, that's definitely going to come in handy for these types of tasks.
Yeah, and this is in editor, and we've prepared a little bit of footage to see what Intel technology is giving Nightingale outside of the editor. Can we run the footage?
Let's see it.
We're going to roll it. That's epic. I caught Pat having a jump scare, but I am so excited to be able to play that.
Yeah, we look forward to you all getting to get to try it soon, hopefully.
All right. Thank you, Sarah. This was awesome.
Thank you, Sarah, for joining us. Exciting accomplishment with the game coming out, and can't wait because I know end users love it. our platforms want to consume it and deliver it, and we're committed to making all this real. Thank you so much, Sarah.
Thank you, Pat. Thank you, Ria.
Thank you.
And as you just saw, the future of gaming and creative, immersive experiences like that relies on performant CPUs and GPUs. And with that, today, I am thrilled to reveal the...
Here we go. Give us the details. Give us the
desktop
details.
processor family. Formerly known as Raptor Lake, the flagship i9-13900K is coming next month. This is the fastest, best desktop processor ever built in history, and it takes advantage of our hybrid architecture, both E and P cores. We've enhanced the P core so it has the best single-threaded performance ever, more L2 and L3 cache. We've also increased the number and improved the E core capabilities for compute-intensive workloads and workflows. Together, the E and P cores work together in a hybrid architecture to deliver the best multi-threaded performance. It has blazing clock speeds of up to 5.8 gigahertz, and the i3-13900K is the best gaming, streaming, and recording experience ever. But make no mistake, it's the best CPU, but it's also the best platform. And our core processors deliver on the platform value propositions, state-of-the-art wireless, connectivity, advances in memory technology. As always, we are building...
I'm seeing 15% IPC gains over the previous generation. If I'm correct, I think that brings it just on par with AMD. I'm not sure if it beats it. We're going to have to see.
Overclocking experience as well. And early next year, we'll release a SKU that for the first time ever hits 6 gigahertz out of the box in limited volumes. An industry first, a huge milestone for client computing. And I remember, like it was yesterday, when we first crossed 1 gigahertz. Man, you all are blowing me away. 6 gigahertz, what a milestone. Congratulations to our team. But of course, we're not stopping with the K SKU. We're going to give you the full range of PC segments, including mobile, and we expect over 50 processors as part of the Raptor Lake i9 family, or the 13th gen family, and we have over 500 13th gen designs.
I'm back, and I think we should definitely get Hawk at that version.
Yes, I think so. Our game is definitely going to take advantage of this. And given the sheer power and unique hybrid architecture that comes with the 13th gen processors, I think we can say with confidence the gaming challenge is complete, Ria.
All right. Thank you.
So let's move into our fourth challenge, and this one's for content creators that need a creative boost.
All right, let's do it.
So I think we need to commemorate our time together today, Ria. And with that, why don't we do a movie poster?
Okay.
Right? Pat and Ria's greatest hits kind of poster. And have you ever seen any of the text-to-image creative platforms?
Well, I've definitely seen it. I could even say you're asking the master. I have tried so many different stable diffusion models. It's constantly growing, but definitely something that only advanced deep learning enthusiasts can get their hands on. Very hard for content creators to be able to use that technology right away.
Okay, well, AI is unleashing this wide array of new opportunities for the creative process. And John is back on stage to show us some amazing technologies from Habana Labs using Gaudi 2. And maybe we can help create our movie poster, John?
Let's do it. So you mentioned text-to-image conversion, and we're running a latent diffusion model on our Gaudi 2 deep learning accelerator. Pat, Ria, you want to start the creative process?
Well, how about movie poster?
All right, I'm doing it. The stakes are high.
So the Gaudi 2 is generating 16 images here in just under 3.5 seconds.
Fantastic.
Okay, well, can we go a little bit further? What do you think, Ria?
Absolutely. Let's do superhero
Okay.
poster on the fly. Gonna type this out here. Let's see.
Okay, that looks better. Okay.
All right.
So what do you think? Should we take it a little further?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do something a little bit more cool.
So maybe, male and female superhero movie?
Yep, absolutely, in the style of Art Deco. And that's going to give us a couple of cool images that the model is trying to generate pretty much real time.
All right. I think we're looking pretty good here, John. What do you think, Ria?
I think it's great. The speed is phenomenal. It's giving me a lot of inspiration for different ideas that I can use. Definitely some improvements, but, yeah, I think it looks great to me, John. Thank you.
Yeah, I can't wait to see designers use this and speed their creativity.
Absolutely.
And, John, I think what we've seen here is the incredible power of the next generation Gaudi processor. And here I have the Gaudi 2 accelerator. This product comfortably outperforms the A100, ResNet 50, BERT models, the June publication this year of the MLPerf benchmarks. And this model we're running is latent diffusion on PyTorch. So what do you think, Ria?
Absolutely. Those words, the machine learning models, they bring joy. So I think this is fun. We're definitely done with this challenge and looking forward to seeing what comes next.
Okay, this challenge complete.
Okay, so I think that was a great challenge, but I'm also encountering a little bit of a difficulty, Pat. So something that I really struggle with is you need a lot of devices in order to be able to do this type of content creation and being able to, train your deep learning models, and those devices don't even talk to each other.
So, I think, Ria, that sounds like a good challenge to me that we can attack this morning.
All right.
And with Centrino, integrated Wi-Fi, we created an industry, and 2-in-1s and convertibles. We've just been driving these unique experiences throughout our history. So we start with people, what do they want, and design solutions for them.
Okay, perfect. So here's what I want. Maybe there's a solution out there for me. I need a solution to having to lug around my very large monitor all the time.
Okay, so, right, making it a lot easier. And, I was in Korea a little while ago, and when I was there with our partner Samsung, they showed me a technology that I think might just solve that problem. And I'm delighted to welcome the CEO of Samsung Display, J.S. Choi, to stage.
Hey.
Thank you.
So I saw this prototype when I was on a trip to South Korea, and I instantly saw the potential for our platform. And I just wanted to let everybody geek out a bit with JS, Ria, and I. So JS, what do you got here?
Yeah, it's great to be here. So this is a small PC, right? But sometimes we need a bigger screen. So let's see. I'll show you the magic. Whoa. Oh.
Okay, my turn.
Okay.
Okay, I gotta play.
Okay.
That is so dope. I want it now.
All right, I'm gonna try. Phenomenal.
I'm sure this shows one of the great examples of future trend of PCs. It's because I'm here today to demonstrate this demo. It's very important for Samsung Display to collaborate between ecosystem developers in hardware and software together to achieve this kind of innovative form factor PCs for best user scenarios. So let me have this one. So today we announced world first 17-inch slidable display for PC globally for the first time.
Thank you.
Wow. Yeah, this device will satisfy Ria's need for larger screen, and also it's a portability as well. With flexible display, we implemented sliding technology rather than foldable. Foldable is gone, but it's just beginning, right? So with this slidable flex and software collaborations, we expect to see better and best user scenarios of PC near future.
JS, thank you for joining us here, right? And as the leading provider of OLED technologies, as many decades of partnership, this just convinces me we got a lot more coming between us. Thank you for joining us, JF.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rhea.
And I'm assuming I can keep it?
And again, continuing new form factors, we create new SDKs to enable those and find new experiences for our customers and community. And speaking of which, earlier this year at the CES show, we announced our acquisition of Screenovate. And this is now coming forward as Intel Unison. And to show an example of Intel Unison, please join our demo geek, Craig, coming to stage. Craig?
Hello, Rhea. How you guys doing today?
Doing great.
So, I'm here to show you off some amazing things that we're going to be doing with Unison.
Okay.
But for the first item, might as well pair some of this amazing software that we have in Unison, with some of this amazing hardware from Samsung Display. Okay, beautiful. But really, what we're saying with Unison and the promise of Unison is to bring all of our devices together, regardless of ecosystem or how they move and how they interact, all of our smart devices, again, really working for us in the way that we want to. And just like you said, Pat, with Intel, we're trying to solve the world's largest problems. Well, Pat and Rhea, I have a lot of problems. So not those type of problems, device problems. So similar, so something like this, I have my great little Evo PC here, and with just a quick, nice little tap, I'm gonna go ahead and send it on over to my display. Oh, let's see here. And here we go. Ooh, and I've extended my display to this nice little 13 to 17-inch device, which helps me with a lot of my problems. I like to have a secondary to screen for a lot of road warriors like us, and so I can take a little 13-inch tablet that I have in my backpack and then turn it into a 17-inch monitor. No back problems, no TSA.
So you're telling me that could I connect like my iPhone to the device or?
Rhea, that's exactly what I'm telling you.
All right.
All of your devices. That includes iOS, an Android device like this, all working together for the first time with our Windows PC. So, Rhea, your iPhone will be singing and dancing and playing with your Windows PC. Never lose focus. Get all of your notifications, all of your emails, all of your texts, and be able to bring that vision. And that's the dream, right, guys? All of our devices working for us, and we're here to bring that dream to you with Unison.
Amazing. Thank you.
Thank you, Craig.
Thank you, guys.
An Intel Unison is a new software solution promoting this open ecosystem approach, solving Rhea's problem, right? But also enabling the iPhone for the first time, interacting seamlessly with the PC, all our iOS, Android devices, and coming with new laptops this holiday season from our partners at Acer, HP, and Lenovo. And this is just the beginning of what we're going to be enabling with Intel Unison. So what do you think, Rhea?
Absolutely. It's astonishing technology. You didn't say no when I asked if I could keep it, so I'm making some assumptions. But I would say that this challenge is complete.
All right.
Thank you.
And our final challenge of the morning, sometimes the biggest challenges we face, technologies at the pace of change. And we can invent these innovations, but is the market ready for them? And sometimes the technology isn't ready for the market. And for instance, my passion for silicon photonics. And,
Well, our vision is to fully enable our chips with optical capabilities, such that our processors today, a piece of silicon, a piece of optics, fiber, going directly into that. The result of that will be much higher bandwidth, much higher communications capabilities at dramatically lower costs. Today, optics is a niche technology. Tomorrow, it's the mainstream of every chip that we build.
So, that was a video of me 2 decades ago predicting this moment.
Right? And that was the year I was born? So.
Oh, Rhea. You are killing me. You are killing me. And sometimes innovation takes a little bit longer than we want. You know, sometimes a decade to make a week of progress, sometimes a week to make a decade of progress.
Absolutely. I love that quote. And I understand it takes a lot of hard work and talent to make these ideas into reality.
Yeah, and at Intel, we invest for the long term. You know, we know that optics, this dramatic amount of bandwidth, you know, moving from photons to electrons, crossing the optical electrical boundary, this was hard. And bringing light and bandwidth and low power right up to the package, and then scaling it for the industry to participate in it. So here we are, and we can now show this breakthrough. Our engineering team has done it, and they've built a detachable optical in-package connector coming directly into a glass substrate. Let's go live to our lab in Scotland and take a look to show it for the very first time. Russell?
Hi, Pat. Hi, Ria. Welcome innovation to Scotland. So what we're going to do today is, yeah, thanks, everybody. So what we have behind us is a test and measurement system where we're going to test that detachable connector. So we have on the left-hand side a power meter. So what you're going to see is the power should flick up to the right-hand side. You'll see the needle in the power meter. On the right-hand side, the signal will go from red to green as we make the connection directly to the package with our detachable connector. So what you can see here with John, we have the demo unit here. We have a silicon photonic package. We have optical fiber that runs up through the connector. It's a very small form factor detachable connector. And we're going to measure the light that comes in and out of the silicon photonics chip with this setup, okay? So, first time we've done this live, obviously, so John's going to make the connection now. Keep an eye on the screen. You'll be able to see the numbers as we make the connection. So here we go. So we got power coming into directly the silicon photonic package. The green signal, that means we're measuring light all the way through the package. But we have to show that it's also detachable. So we're going to detach it, reattach it again, and we'll be able to show that here now live. Okay, John. So there we go, we detached it, signal's dropped off, reattaching it, and now the signal's jumping back up again. Okay? So great result, everybody. Thank you.
Hey, Russell and team, you know, thank you so much. This is exactly how I dreamed of it decades ago, and you guys are now delivering it. Thank you. Congratulations to our team in Scotland.
Thank you.
That's great.
Can't believe I get to be part of this history-making moment.
Indeed, indeed. So, Ria, you know, thank you for joining me on this journey. You know, in 30 years, when you're on stage as the CEO, remember to continue to pass on the shared passion that we have for the world of technology and the enormous positive tech for good impact that it can have.
Oh, absolutely, Pat. And I think on behalf of developers everywhere, we're ready to get these technologies running, working for our workflows, optimized, accelerated, and changing the world.
So maybe a memento for you. Let's sign our poster here that we did.
Okay.
Grab your pen there, and you and I are going to sign it, and we're going to send you off here, right? This first superhero moment, right?
Gonna add a smiley.
All right. There we go. Let's say thank you to Ria for joining us.
Thank you all. Thank you, Pat.
So throughout our time together this morning, we've talked about our commitment to being open, systems and software and hardware standards. And our collective potential as an industry is unleashed when we enable openness, choice, and trust. So to close out, I want to bring on stage a special guest, someone that I have personally admired for decades, a no bigger champion of open collaborative ecosystems, the godfather of the open source movement, the creator of Linux kernel and of Git. Please join me in welcoming none other than Linus Torvalds. Linus, it is so great to have you at Intel Innovation. We've both been around the industry a few years.
Yep.
And you remember this?
I do remember that. I lost my own copy a few years ago, apparently.
Well, today we are fixing that. I've signed this for you here.
Thanks.
And when I wrote this book, it was the Bible for the 8386, and this was really your beginning.
Literally, this was the thing I used on the project that wasn't Linux yet. Before I actually started doing an operating system, I was really just trying to learn about the new PC I'd bought. And this was the CPU side of that journey, right? And it took a while to learn the CPU and realize that what I'm actually writing is an operating system. So this, in a sense, predates my Linux work, but was very integral to it.
Yeah. And maybe you could just take us back to 1991 when you were first getting started on the project, and tell us a little bit about that.
So it's hard to even think back now because it was different for me. I came from a home PC kind of background and did not know the x86 architecture at all, but decided that this was the way into it. And bought my first 386 and couldn't afford the commercial Unixes I wanted. And
so you were cheap?
I was cheap.
Or
no, I prefer the word poor.
Poor, okay.
Right. And I'd grown up with computers since I was about 11. And was used to just writing my own projects. So the fact that I could not afford Unix myself, and I had this shiny new PC, and I had been exploring the CPU side of it, and because the 386 has the task switching hardware built in, it had been one of the things I'd been exploring. And when you do task switching and do all the low-level grotty paging details that this book literally goes through and explains, you kind of end up with a project that is the beginning of a kernel.
Yeah, looks like an operating system. Yeah. So here we are today. Tell us, what are the must-dos for a thriving open source ecosystem?
I think the must-do, one thing I really strive for is to make sure that people feel like they are part of, I don't want to say the community. I mean, it is part of the community, but they're part of making decisions, and they really own the end result.
Invested in it.
They're invested in it. And it's obviously why I chose the license I chose, making sure that I don't have any special rights. And I really love open source. I love working in the community where it's about open discussion and really getting things done together. And that's actually surprising to me, even now, because I always, and I still feel that I'm not a people person. But at the same time...
I've heard that criticism of you.
Yeah, no, I'm not the only one who thinks I'm not a people person. But at the same time, it's been what has really motivated me for the last 30 plus years.
So let's go forward, 10, 20 years. What's your vision for open source in the future?
Yeah, no, this is not me. I'm not a visionary. I call myself a plodding engineer.
Plodding engineer.
And I say that with pride. I think you need the people who have the big ideas, but you definitely, in engineering, a lot of it is getting all the small details right and looking at in front of your feet instead of looking 20 years out. So I look a couple of releases ahead, and I kind of have a notion of what's coming, but my horizon is about 6 months away, not 20 years away.
Okay, so I'd like to introduce you to Linus Torvalds, my favorite plodding engineer.
Thank you, Pat.
Your career, your impact, the industry that you've affected is nothing short of spectacular, Linus. And you and I, we're not finished yet. We got a lot of time in front of us yet. But we'll be realizing the impact of your contributions for many, many years to come. And it's with that in mind that today we are honored to give you and recognize you and our community as we come here together, right? We would like to say that you are the first recipient of the first ever Intel Innovation Award.
Well, thank you, Pat. I don't know what to say. That is actually very nice and classy. We had a water bottle as a stand-in yesterday during the rehearsal.
This was a little nicer,
which wasn't so nice and classy.
And while I was absolutely thrilled to have this conversation with Linus and I this morning, we recorded a long interview yesterday. We'll be posting that on our website. And truly, I couldn't think of a more honoring person for an open community than Linus Torvalds. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Pat. Thank you.
We've had an incredible morning together, but this is just the beginning. We're just getting started. In the next 2 days, labs, demos, show floor, cool, geeky things that we're going to do. I encourage you to sign up for the Developer Cloud, download our One API toolkit, and engage with us, because our objective here is that developers, whether software or hardware, you see the future, and our job at Intel is to open that future up to you, working together on open frameworks that you can trust. I'm excited we've had the opportunity to come together to learn, grow, build, challenge, and help each other. And together, we've taken a peek into the future, one that we will create together. Thank you.
Day one keynote is in the books, and there is so much to unpack. Welcome to our post-show, Innovation 2022, live from San Jose. What a great keynote. Pat is on his way back to our blue carpet to debrief, so don't go anywhere. We saw a lot of the same themes from his keynote last year, but there was one fresh focus on this new, almost post-pandemic era. Technology is increasingly central to every aspect of human existence. And as we look ahead to the next decade, we will now see continued moves to digital for everything, the way we work, learn, connect, develop, and operate. All right, let's bring Ravi back to get his reaction to this live keynote. Ravi, welcome back. What I thought was so cool was having this live audience there this year.
Yeah,
that was an element we missed last year, being completely virtual with COVID.
Yeah, Madeline, it was amazing. I got to tell you, there were so many things that resonated. One, just the reaction to many of the things that Pat delivered. Two, the fact that Pat, went after developer challenges, right, in a really, phased approach, an organized approach, and then showing how, Intel could, enable solutions. And that pop-up, a comment that he made about his granddaughter, that was really inspiring for me.
Yeah, thank you. When she puts her USB in, that was precious. And a part of this live show element is the audience reactions. And I was really impressed by the excitement we felt when he said that, when he talked about the Andy Grove and the speed of innovation and how all of that is still alive and well.
Hey, guess who's standing next to me? Pat, okay. That was amazing, amazing. I could feel the excitement in there. You tell me, again, coming back, looking at all the developers, the folks, the reaction. How do you feel after that keynote?
Oh, I feel great, right? To me, it really is this coming back to this community that is looking for us to be engaging, to help to create these open technologies for tomorrow. We had some cool demos to show off and some real progress since last year, and just setting up for the second half tomorrow.
Very, very cool demos out there, by the way. Last year you said you were bringing back the geek, right? And as our chief geek, how have the developer community rallied around the things that we're doing, and how have they responded to all of the things that we've been doing over the last 12 months and here recently?
Well, I'd say, at first they're sort of like, are you really back? right? And waiting to see. And we had a lot of work to do to get the underpinnings in place. We said one API, and the API's there, or the regular releases there. So that's happening now. We said Dev Cloud. Okay, well that's happening now. And we said we're going to have an open AI stack. Well, we didn't have a lot of pieces in place to make that possible. So now it's all sort of coming together, and they're responding super well. And things like the Dev Cloud, we have a queue of people ready to get on board and start getting access to our latest and greatest.
That's amazing. Hey, I've got to tell you, Madeline and I were just speaking, that comment you made about Pop-Up and your granddaughter, I mean, really amazing, and I hope she's watching. So you had Ria and Linus on stage. What was your inspiration for having both of them there with you front and center this year?
Well, first, to me, it always has been this amazing thing. I mean, Andy sort of reached down and grabbed me when I was a 22-year-old engineer, and I've always had that view of Intel, that, hey, I don't care if you're, 22 or 62, right? The question is, are you a geek, and are you going to be able to do some amazing things? And our company just enables that. And having somebody, which is like I say, I'm an underachiever, compared to Ria, what she's accomplishing, and I want to be the place that she can really, fulfill, her full potential as a leader. And when we flip to the other side with Linus, truly is somebody that, I've admired for a decade. And if you're going to talk about open, who else could you have?
Well, that's pretty much it, I guess. One second here.
Doesn't do these things very often. He said maybe once or twice a year. So, it's a very unusual thing. And tracing our roots back to the earliest.
Yeah, we'll turn that down. So let's just discuss a little bit what we saw today. I think the arc was pretty cool. That we saw that it's coming out on the 12th of October, which is the same day. A little bit feedback there, sorry. Which is the same day as NVIDIA's 4000 series, or the 4090 comes out. So that's pretty interesting. Now they said that it's like class-leading ray tracing performance in the segment that they're in, or something to that effect. And the price is very interesting, $319 US. Now, I'm not quite sure what power target that GPU is geared around. I don't know if it's like 3070 performance, 3070 Ti, 3080. I'm not quite sure. I'm going to have to find out. But let's just say it's 3070 performance and better ray tracing than a 3070. For $319, that's a major win. Intel, they definitely need to come out with a cheaper GPU than the competition. That's just, that's a no-brainer at this point. I think they should have released this a long time ago, a year ago. I think that's when they could have really capitalized for whatever reason. There's been delay after delay, but it's finally coming out October 12th. Reviewers are going to have their hands on it, and we're going to find out the details about it. Now, $319 is a fantastic price. I will say the GPU does look good. And at $319, I'm forced to look at this GPU to see what it is capable of doing. We know it has AI upscaling. I believe they call it EXSS or something like that. So it's going to have upscaling. It's going to have ray tracing. And if it performs around a 3070 Ti for $319 US, that's a major, major win. And competition is always good. It's going to help us with, if we want to get something from AMD, it's going to help them adjust their prices. NVIDIA, I don't know if there's any hope for NVIDIA, especially with the prices of their GPUs. They're extremely expensive, which is crazy that they expect us to pay that much. And, mining is over. We're dealing with inflation, and they go ahead and give us those cards, and they give us a 3080 12 gigabyte, which is really a 3070. But that horse has been beaten to death already, so we're not really going to go over that. But it is very interesting. Now under CPUs, I'm a little perplexed. Now they said at 15% IPC gains over Alder Lake. And if I'm correct, and I could be wrong, in the chat you guys can correct me on this, because I thought it was about 12% improvement over the 5800 X3D. Somebody else in the chat said it was 16%. Now, if it's true that it is 16% increase, these new AMD CPUs over the 5800 X3DX or whatever, X3D for IPC, then I don't know. I don't know if that makes Intel have the fastest gaming CPU. it might bring them slightly under, because we know the 3800, I don't know why I keep saying the 3800. We know that the 5800X 3D did beat Alder Lake. And if AM5 is 16% better than that CPU, and they're claiming, I think they claimed 15% IPC gains over Alder Lake, that wouldn't make it faster than AMD to my calculations, but I could be wrong on the numbers, or it could put it on par. Another thing that was troubling is that they didn't put any benchmarks up. They didn't give us any type of comparisons. They didn't give us a release date, and they didn't give us a price. And that's a little bit of a cause for concern for me. Why they didn't give us any benchmarks. Now is a perfect opportunity to do that. Why didn't they give us a release window? Why didn't they give us a price? So that clearly tells me behind the scenes they're kind of scrambling, trying to figure out the price points, trying to figure out if they can tweak the performance of these CPUs. You know, they were bragging about the 6 gigahertz, but from what I've seen so far, AMD can get over 6 gigahertz on a single core. And I'm pretty sure the 6 gigahertz that Intel was touting wasn't an all-core thing. I believe it was just like on one core. I don't think it's all cores out the box. I could be wrong on that. If I am, let me know in the comment section. But to my knowledge, I don't think it's all cores. Now, we've seen a lot of reviews on AMD's, 7600, 77, whatever, all their new processors. And we're seeing some of them get to 5.5, 5.6, all-core boost, which is phenomenal. So I don't know. It's very interesting. We're gonna have to wait and see. Now I'm hoping that Intel has given some of these reviewers and sites like Gamer Nexus some information that we can digest today, because simply I just don't know enough about these CPUs. They didn't really say anything. They only said that the 13th gen is here, yada yada, all the marketing stuff. But I want to see hard numbers. I want to see benchmarks. I want to see comparisons against the previous generation. I want to see comparisons against AMD's previous generation and their current generation. The key takeaway for me today, the only thing that really got me excited today, there was two things. That Samsung screen monitor that folds open, that bendable OLED, was incredible. I want one of those. And the Arc GPU. $319 is a fantastic price, man. And I don't know. I don't think you can go wrong at that price point, especially seeing how everything's been priced out the previous generation and the new generation. Looks like it's not going to be cheaper, at least from NVIDIA. So $319, let's hope it does 3070 Ti performance with ray tracing, with AI upscaling. I think is a major win for Intel, and it'll actually allow people to try their new GPUs, because $319 is fairly cheap. So let's hope the performance is good. I'm going to temper my expectations, of course, but I am interested to see more what's going on. Anyways, I want to thank you guys for putting up with the stream today. I don't know what happened. There was a delay on the audio, and I just couldn't recover it. I don't know if it's from where I was streaming it from Intel, if the issue lied there. When I was watching it real time, like on, without my recording software, it seemed fine throughout the whole stream. For some reason, there was a delay, and I apologize for that. That usually never happens on my streams, but I do thank you guys for putting up with it and sticking around. I appreciate all of you guys. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I stream all kinds of stuff: Intel, AMD, NVIDIA, Sony, Microsoft, Xbox. If it's Samsung, if it's something interesting within tech, I'm gonna stream it. Now, we're looking here on the screen. I think I'm pretty sure this is a replay of what happened before, and it's probably still out of sync. Let's see.
All right, welcome back, and I now officially have Ravi on set.
Great to be
Welcome.
back.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. They're just kind of replaying it here, and they're gonna go over, some of the stuff that was said today. I don't think anything interesting is gonna be shown in here. If you guys want me to continue streaming this, I guess hit the one in the chat, and I'll continue to stream this. Let me know. But I pretty much want to wrap up this stream. I think we've heard everything that we need to hear.
So many levels. Pat talking about his own hearing aid. I thought that was a really interesting application of this superpower and where we see the future of technology going.
Right.
Yeah, Maria, they did unveil Raptor Lake, but they just showed us the box. They didn't really give us any details on it, which is questionable. They just said it's coming soon or coming next month, something to that effect. And we don't have any details. But there were some leaks today. Newegg leaked the prices and stuff. So I think we're just going to have to watch other content creators to get more information, because Intel was very scarce with their information on the 13th generation iCore processors.
Also had some not so positive things to say about Intel, in the recent years.
Yeah, no, I thought it was a bold move. I mean, we talk about transparency, open ecosystems, and having Linus there, and on stage with Pat.
Marie, the major thing that you missed, there was some cool folding Samsung monitor that's wireless. It's OLED, as well as the ARC GPU. It's going to come out October 12th. Reviewers are going to review it on the 12th of October. It's going to retail for $319 US. Apparently, it's supposed to have class-leading ray tracing in its category. It has AI upscaling, but the most important thing is $319. That's a great price point. If it can deliver 3070 Ti performance, that's a major win.
Receiving lots of awesome notes from colleagues and family.
It won't be your last time. Now that you've gotten the bug, right? You're going to be up on that stage every year?
Oh, definitely. I mean, that's my plan.
I think Pat maybe just said you were going to be CEO.
Maybe. I have bold ambitions, but I know I have a lot to do to get there and to learn as well, so I'm just excited to take it all in.
Absolutely. Well, I know you had a chance to catch up with Ravi earlier, but Ravi, did you have another question?
Yeah, one, you're a natural and you have an amazing presence out there, and what you're really amazing at doing is bringing these things that are really complex and articulating in a way that all of us, even us non-developers, can understand. So really enjoyed hearing you up there and spending time with you also.
Thank you so much. Communication is definitely my passion. I mean, different types of forms and mediums, I'm all for it.
So tell us, what was your inspiration to get into responsible AI, ethical AI?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. We're gonna wrap it up here. It's just regurgitation of what we basically heard throughout the keynote. If you missed it, just once I kill the stream, the entirety of the stream will be up there. You'll see it on my channel, and you can watch it. Some point today, I'll go through and I'll give you some timestamps. But overall, the pace of the show was okay, to be quite honest with you. There were some parts where I got a little bit bored, but the pace was okay. They showed the ARC GPU. It's coming out October 12th. It's going to be in reviewers' hands. It's going to be $319 US. They showed us the 13th generation iCore processors. They didn't give us a price. They didn't give us a release date. They told us 15% IPC gains. I believe it was 41% gains in multi-core performance. I don't know if that's going to make them beat AMD. To my knowledge, I don't think so. I don't think the 15% IPC gains is enough, and I don't know if it's all from architectural. I think architectural difference is like 5%, and I think the rest is the gains are from clocks. And we all know that, of course, you can overclock AMD. So I don't know. It's going to be very interesting. Maybe they'll be on par. I just don't see them beating them for single core performance. They didn't really say they're the fastest gaming CPU this time around too. So we're going to have to wait till reviewers get this in their hands, till we get more information from the press. But overall, it was an okay show. I hope you guys that are into Intel, that you enjoyed the stream. Once again, like, subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks again for rocking out with me. And next stream, for sure, we won't have any audio delay issues. This is the first time that's actually happened to me. And Go figure. It was an Intel event. Anyways, I'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching.
Enthusiasm that I'm just, consuming and then bringing on to my presence. So I'm always for it. If I need to do something right, I'm for that feedback. But if I did do something right, then I want to keep it happening. And that's what I need. My team, my family, my colleagues. One Intel and like a one industry. I'm really for that concept. So yeah.
And especially your mom.